Hello, and welcome to the Benekit GA portal. My name is Stephanie, and I'll be walking you through the process of adding new groups and employees to your portal. Please take a moment to double check that you have all the items listed on this page. If you do, you are ready to begin. Before we get started, let me give you a few tips about the portal. Try not to hit the back button at any time during the process. This may cause you to lose any data you have entered. Also, be sure you have about half an hour set aside to complete the enrollment, as you will not be able to save your information until it is ready for submission. Let's get started. This page is pretty self-explanatory. We'll need to enter the employer's legal name, the name they do business under, and their 9-digit tax identification number. We'll also need to select whether the health insurance program is intended for a small group or an Oxford sole proprietor. You can find this information on the Employer Notice of Election form. We are now ready to move on. Notice that the group number and employer name appear on the left side of the screen. This feature helps us keep track of which group we are currently working on. Now we'll need to enter the address information for the business we are adding. Please note that all fields marked with an asterisk are required to be filled in before moving on. If the street address is the same as the billing address, check the Use Same Address for Billing box. Although the billing address fields remain empty, please be assured that the information has been collected. Now we'll enter the contact information for the primary contact of the group we are enrolling. This information can be found on the Employer Notice of Election form. On the Employer Details page, we'll select the requested effective date of coverage and the appropriate options for medical, dental, vision, and bundled life and disability insurance. We can also choose if this group has opted out of COBRA New York State Continuation Services. Select Unknown if you are unsure if this group is covered by state continuation or federal COBRA. Next, we'll choose the billing method. We can select either a monthly bill or the easier option, electronic funds transfer. If EFT is selected, we'll need the routing number, account number, bank name, and account type for the payment account. Please note that the routing number is the 9-digit number on the lower left-hand side of the check. The account number is the number to the right of the routing number. This information can be found on the Employer Notice of Election form. Once all of the fields have been filled appropriately, we are ready to move on. This page is all about employer statistics. Simply fill in each field with the appropriate response. It is important to make sure the math on this page adds up. For instance, if the company has 20 total employees, then the number of full-time employees must be less than or equal to 20. This information can be found on the Employer Notice of Election form. On this page, we'll enter the HealthPass broker ID of the brokers we are assigning to the new group. Click Find, and our brokers appear. In the broker percentage box, we'll enter the percent commission we are assigning to this broker. Since we've only assigned one broker to this group, we'll enter 100. Now we hit Add, and the information is saved. We can see that we assigned the broker Peggy Olson of the PO agency to this group. Notice that the broker percentage we assigned to her appears next to her name. The green confirmation message tells us we correctly entered the value for broker allocation, and we may safely continue. If we wanted to add more brokers, we would simply repeat the process, ensuring that the broker percentage adds up to 100. Broker information can be found on the Employer Notice of Election form. Now we're ready to start adding employees. This first page is easy enough. We'll simply enter the requested information as it appears on the enrollment change form. Notice that the name of the group on the left side of the screen has been replaced with the name of the employee. This feature helps us keep track of the employee we are currently working on. Now we'll enter the home address and contact information for Don Draper as it appears on the enrollment change form. On the Employee Details page, we'll enter the information as it appears on the enrollment change form we received from the employer. This includes the employee's date of birth, gender, marital status, and the date that they were hired. We'll then select whether or not the employee is waiving the coverage because they have coverage elsewhere. We'll also need to enter the information for the primary care physicians if need be. Finally, we'll enter the information regarding the employee's prior coverage if applicable. On the dependents page, we'll be adding the dependents that our employee elected to cover one by one. We'll need the dependent's social security number, full name, date of birth, gender, disability information, relation to the employee and primary care physician information. All of this is located on the enrollment change form. You must click Add Dependent before moving on. If you do not click Add Dependent, the information will not be saved. Once a dependent has been added, their name, social security number, and relationship to the employee are listed at the bottom of the screen. Once the information for each dependent has been entered, it is safe to continue. If there are no dependents to add, you may skip this page. On the Employee Coverages page, we'll select the coverage option that the employees chose. This includes who the employee wants to cover and the specific plan they opted for. Note that the price of each plan is automatically updated depending on who the employee has opted to cover. In the drop-down menu, select the appropriate policy. You can find which policies the employee selected on the enrollment change form. Once the policy has been selected, click the Add button and you'll see a summary of the option you chose appear on the screen. Repeat this process for each policy, remembering to double-check your selections against the enrollment change form. We're almost done. Now that we've entered all the information, we'll read the certification page and indicate our agreement by clicking on the authorization box. We've reached the end of the process of adding an employee. Here, we see a summary of the employee we just enrolled, including his name, social, and status. We can add more employees to this group by clicking Add Additional Employees, which will take us back through the process of adding an employee. The group will not be saved until we click Complete Enrollment for this group. Before we submit this group, we have the option of attaching a note. This can be anything we want it to be. Maybe we had a problem with some of the information, or we'll be adding more employees to the group in the future. We can give HealthPass a reminder by writing anything in this box. In order to attach it, we must click Add Notes before continuing. We can also continue without adding any notes. One final step. Before HealthPass can verify the eligibility of the participants, you need to provide them with several items, all of which are discussed on this page. Please read this page and follow the instructions as listed. To ensure the enrollment process is completed as efficiently as possible, please provide all the necessary supplementary materials as soon as possible. That's it! Remember, this video is not a substitute for the information contained on each page. It is important to read each section thoroughly. Thank you for using our new GA Benekit portal. We hope this tool has saved you a significant amount of work and will continue to do so in the future.